Arthur never expected that a simple dinner with his daughter would change his life forever. That night, he was just a father trying to give Elisa a normal moment away from hospitals, doctors, and constant worry. They walked into a small restaurant, chose a quiet table, and waited to be served, believing it would be an ordinary evening like so many others. But everything shifted the moment the waitress leaned closer to the table. Arthur noticed a necklace fall forward, and inside it, a photo that made his body freeze. It was the face of the woman he had buried years ago, the woman doctors said had died during childbirth. His hands trembled, his glass slipped, and he could not look away. At the same time, Elisa looked at the necklace and calmly said something that exposed a truth no one was prepared for. "That photo is my mom." The waitress, JD, was not just another employee working a long shift, and Arthur was not just a grieving businessman trying to move on. In that single moment, a past built on silence, lies, and decisions made by others began to surface. How could a woman believed to be dead be standing right in front of him? Why had she been erased from his life? And who made sure the truth stayed hidden for so long? Before we dive into this story, comment below where you're watching from. And if you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. JD works as a waitress in a small restaurant that serves simple food to regular people. Her days follow the same pattern again and again. She wakes up early, gets dressed in the same worn clothes, and goes to work without expecting anything new. The restaurant is not a place where dreams grow. It is a place where people come, eat, pay, and leave. JD moves between tables, takes orders, carries plates, and cleans what others leave behind. She does her job well, not because she loves it, but because she needs it. Long shifts are normal for her. Double shifts are common. Rest is something she rarely allows herself. She knows that if she slows down, she might lose control of the only stability she has. Her co-workers know little about her. They know she is quiet, reliable, and distant. She does not join conversations more than necessary. She does not complain. She does not share stories. To most people, JD is just another waitress trying to survive. They do not see her as someone with a past. They see her as someone who exists only in the present moment, moving from one task to another without asking for more. After work, JD returns to a rented room that barely feels like home. The room has only what she needs: a bed, a small table, and a place to keep her clothes. She does not decorate it. She does not add personal touches. She has lived in similar rooms before, and she knows she might live in another one soon. Because of that, she never settles. She never creates roots. She does not invite people over. She does not build relationships that could tie her to one place. Her life is light in objects, but heavy in silence. When she is alone, she keeps herself busy. She cleans, she organizes, she prepares for the next workday. She avoids moments of rest because rest brings thoughts, and thoughts bring memories. JD has learned that staying busy is the easiest way to avoid looking back. She does not talk to neighbors. She does not share meals with others. Her phone stays mostly silent. This isolation is not accidental. It is something she chose over time. Distance feels safer to her than connection. If she keeps moving, she does not have to explain who she is or where she comes from. JD does not have a family around her. There are no calls from parents, no visits from relatives, no holidays shared with anyone. She never mentions family at work, and when someone asks, she gives short answers that close the conversation. She learned that the past makes people curious, and curiosity leads to questions she does not want to answer. Over time, people stopped asking. This suited her. She does not create friendships that go beyond work. She keeps everything professional and controlled. When others talk about their lives, their partners, or their children, JD listens but does not join in. She feels like an observer in those moments, standing outside a life she once imagined but no longer believes in. Her world is small by design. She believes that the less people know about her, the safer she is. Her silence is not weakness. It is a shield she built carefully. It protects her from having to relive what she lost and from explaining pain that never fully healed. Staying alone is not what she wanted, but it is what she knows how to manage. There is only one thing JD keeps close to her at all times. Under her clothes, hidden from sight, she wears an old necklace. The chain is worn and the pendant is small. Inside it, there is a photo. She never shows it to anyone. She never talks about it. At work, she makes sure it stays hidden, tucked under her uniform. The necklace is the only personal object she truly owns. Everything else in her life can be replaced. That necklace cannot. She touches it without thinking when she feels tired or overwhelmed. It is not something she uses for comfort. It is something she keeps to remind herself of the truth. The photo inside is not a happy memory. It is evidence. It proves that her life did not always look like this. It proves that what she remembers is real. Without it, she fears that time and silence might erase everything. The necklace is not jewelry to her. It is a piece of her identity that she refuses to let go of, even if she keeps it hidden. The photo inside the necklace represents a life that ended suddenly. Years ago, JD's life changed in a hospital, without warning and without choice. She does not speak about that day, but it defines everything that came after. Before that moment, she had plans and expectations. After it, she learned how quickly everything could be taken away. The hospital became the place where her future stopped and her survival began. Since then, she has lived carefully, avoiding situations that require trust or hope. The photo is the last remaining link to who she was before that day. She does not look at it often, but knowing it is there matters to her. It reminds her that she did not imagine her past. It reminds her that she once belonged to a different life. That knowledge is painful, but it is also grounding. It keeps her from forgetting herself completely. Even though she hides the necklace, she would never leave it behind. It is the one thing she chose to keep when everything else fell apart. JD's life now is defined by routine, distance, and control. She does not chase happiness or big changes. She focuses on getting through each day without breaking. Her work, her room, and her silence form a structure she depends on. The past stays locked away, except for the small photo she carries with her. She believes that revisiting old wounds would only reopen pain she barely managed to survive. For her, moving forward does not mean healing. It means enduring. She does not expect answers or justice. She expects work, exhaustion, and another day that looks like the last one. This is how she protects herself. Her life was interrupted once, and she does everything she can to make sure nothing interrupts it again. Arthur is a millionaire businessman, but his life is not built around comfort or pleasure. His days are centered on work and on his daughter, Elisa. He wakes up early, checks messages, attends meetings, and makes decisions that affect many people. Money is not something he thinks about anymore. It is simply there, the result of years of focus and discipline. What truly shapes his routine is Elisa. From the moment she was born, Arthur's priorities changed. Every plan, every trip, and every schedule adjustment is made with her in mind. He does not complain about this responsibility. He accepted it as part of who he became after losing his wife. Work keeps his mind busy, and his daughter gives him a reason to keep moving. Arthur does not talk much about his personal life with colleagues. In the business world, he is known as serious, controlled, and distant. No one questions his authority. No one asks about his past. That suits him. His success is visible, but his pain stays hidden behind structured days and constant responsibilities. Elisa has lived with health problems since birth. Her breathing is fragile, and her condition requires constant attention. Arthur is familiar with hospitals, doctors' offices, and medical schedules. Appointments are part of his weekly routine. He knows which doctors to call and which tests are needed. He watches his daughter closely, especially during the night, listening for changes in her breathing. These moments remind him how close he came to losing everything. Arthur does not show fear in front of Elisa. He stays calm, speaks gently and reassures her when she feels tired or scared. Inside, however, the worry never leaves. He organizes his work life to be available whenever she needs him. Meetings are postponed, trips are cancelled. He believes this is his responsibility. Elisa's condition keeps him anchored to the present. There is no space for careless decisions or emotional distractions. Every medical visit reinforces the idea that his life revolves around protecting her. Arthur does not see this as a burden. He sees it as a duty he accepted the day his wife died and his daughter survived. Arthur's wife died during childbirth, according to the doctors and according to his father, Roberto. That moment changed everything. Arthur remembers being told that complications happened and that nothing could be done. He remembers the shock, the confusion, and the feeling that events moved faster than he could understand. Roberto took control immediately. He spoke with doctors, handled paperwork, and made decisions Arthur did not feel capable of making at the time. Arthur trusted his father completely. Roberto had always been the one to take charge in difficult situations. Arthur followed his lead without resistance. He was exhausted, grieving, and focused on his newborn daughter. The idea of questioning what happened never crossed his mind. The explanation he received became the truth he lived with. His wife was gone. His child needed him. That was all that mattered. Arthur accepted the situation without looking deeper. He believed that dwelling on the past would only cause more pain. He chose to move forward because stopping felt impossible. Since that day, Arthur has carried guilt quietly. He often wonders if he should have been more present during the birth or asked more questions afterward. These thoughts come late at night, when work slows down and the house is quiet. He does not share these feelings with anyone, not with friends, not with colleagues, not even with his father. Silence became his way of coping. Arthur believes that questioning the past would not bring his wife back. Instead, it would only reopen wounds he barely managed to close. He tells himself that focusing on Elisa is what matters most. Still, the guilt stays with him. It shows in how carefully he watches his daughter and how strictly he controls his emotions. He does not allow himself moments of weakness. He feels that strength is required of him at all times. Losing his wife taught him that life can change without warning, and that lesson shaped the way he lives every day. Arthur's relationship with his father is built on trust and obedience. Roberto has always been decisive, confident, and firm. When Arthur was younger, he relied on his father's judgment in business and in personal matters. That did not change after the tragedy. Roberto's involvement during the birth and its aftermath reinforced Arthur's belief that his father knew what was best. Arthur never questioned Roberto's actions or intentions. He accepted that his father acted to protect the family and handle a crisis Arthur was not ready to face. Over time, this trust became part of Arthur's identity. He followed advice, accepted guidance, and avoided confrontation. Roberto's version of events became the official story Arthur repeated to himself. Doctors confirmed it. His father confirmed it. Arthur did not see a reason to doubt it. Trust felt easier than uncertainty. It allowed him to keep living without falling apart. Arthur's life today is structured around control and responsibility. He manages his business with precision and his home with care. His emotions are contained, his words measured. He does not allow space for reflection on what could have been different. The loss of his wife is a closed chapter in his mind, painful but sealed. He believes that accepting this version of the past is the only way to function. Guilt and silence walk beside him every day, but he carries them without complaint. Arthur does not seek comfort or understanding from others. He believes his role is to provide, protect, and endure. His identity as a father and a businessman defines him completely. Everything else, including his own grief, remains unspoken and unresolved. Arthur takes Elisa to a small restaurant because he wants to give her a normal night. Even if normal has become rare in their lives, he chooses a quiet place, not too crowded, where she can sit comfortably and breathe without feeling rushed. He helps her into her chair, adjusts her position, and asks if she feels okay. Elisa nods, trusting him. Arthur tries to relax, telling himself this is just a simple meal. No doctors, no tests, just food and time together. Still, he watches her closely, as he always does. He scans the room, notices the tables, the low noise and the staff moving back and forth. When JD approaches their table, Arthur barely looks at her at first. She is just the waitress assigned to them. She speaks politely, asks what they want, and listens carefully. Arthur answers briefly, focused on Elisa. At this point, nothing feels unusual. It is just another attempt to create a small moment of peace in a life that rarely slows down. JD treats Elisa with calm attention. She speaks to the child directly, bends slightly to be at her eye level, and asks simple questions. Elisa responds easily, seeming more relaxed than usual. Arthur notices this but does not think much of it. He appreciates that JD does not rush them. When JD leans in to help Elisa with something small at the table, the chain around her neck shifts. The pendant slides forward, no longer hidden. As she moves, the pendant opens slightly. Arthur's eyes catch something inside it. At first, his mind does not process what he is seeing. It takes a second longer than expected. Then his body reacts before his thoughts do. His hand tightens around the glass he is holding. His breathing changes. The image inside the pendant becomes clear to him, and recognition hits him instantly. He knows that face. There is no doubt. It is the face of the woman he buried, the woman he mourned, the woman he believed was gone forever. The shock does not stay in Arthur's head. It moves through his body. His hand slips and the glass falls, hitting the table and spilling. The sound draws attention, but Arthur barely notices. His face loses color. His heart starts beating fast, and he feels pressure in his chest. He does not look away. He cannot. His eyes stay fixed on JD and the pendant. Everything else in the room fades into the background. Conversations, movement, noise, all of it becomes distant. His mind struggles to catch up with what his eyes already know. This is not confusion. This is recognition. He is not guessing or imagining. The image is too familiar. He has seen it too many times in his memory. Arthur's body reacts as if he has seen something impossible. His legs feel weak, and his thoughts come in fragments. He does not speak. He does not move. He simply stares, frozen in place. JD does not immediately notice what is happening to Arthur. She is focused on her task, on Elisa, on finishing her work properly. She senses a shift in the air, but does not understand it yet. Arthur's reaction is silent, but intense. His eyes remain locked on her, and his expression is one she has not seen directed at her before. It is not anger. It is not confusion alone. It is something deeper and more disturbing. Arthur's mouth opens slightly as if he wants to say something, but no words come out. His thoughts race, but his body feels heavy. He feels as if the ground under him has moved. This moment does not feel real to him. He tries to blink, hoping the image will disappear or change. It does not. JD straightens up, unaware of the reason for his reaction, while Arthur remains frozen, unable to break eye contact. Elisa notices the change in her father before anyone else does. She looks at him, confused by his silence and his pale face. She follows his gaze and then looks back at JD. To Elisa, the situation does not feel threatening, just strange. Arthur hears his daughter speak, but the sound reaches him slowly. His focus is still on the pendant, on the image inside it. His hands tremble slightly as he rests them on the table. He feels exposed, as if something private has been dragged into the open without warning. The restaurant no longer feels like a safe, ordinary place. It feels unstable. Arthur does not try to control himself. He cannot. The shock has taken over. His entire world, carefully built around work, routine, and silence, cracks in this single moment. Arthur cannot look away from JD. Even as she steps back to give them space, his eyes follow her. His breathing remains shallow. His thoughts circle the same question without forming words. How is this possible? His body reacts as if he is facing a ghost, but his mind knows ghosts are not real. The image inside the pendant is real. The reaction inside him is real. The moment stretches longer than it should. Arthur stays seated, staring, while the spilled drink remains on the table. He does not care about the mess or the attention. Nothing else matters now. This single image has stopped him completely. The ordinary night he wanted for Elisa is gone. In its place is a moment that changes everything, even though no one has said a word yet. Elisa is the first to react to what is happening. She looks at her father and notices that he is no longer acting like himself. His face is pale, his hands are tense, and his eyes are fixed on JD. Elisa does not understand the reason, but she knows something is wrong. She follows his gaze and then looks at the necklace that JD is wearing. The pendant is still slightly open. Elisa looks closely at the photo inside it. To her, the image feels familiar in a simple and natural way. She does not think deeply about it. She only reacts to what she recognizes. In a calm and clear voice, she points at the necklace and speaks without hesitation. She says, "That photo is Mom." Her words are not loud, but they are clear enough to be heard. The sentence comes out naturally, without fear or doubt. Elisa does not know that her words carry weight. She is only describing what she sees. After speaking, she looks back at her father, waiting for his reaction, unaware that she has just exposed something that was hidden for years. Arthur hears Elisa's words, and they hit him harder than the image itself. The sentence confirms what his body already felt. His heart races, and his thoughts scatter. He does not take time to think or calm himself. His reaction is immediate and uncontrolled. He pushes his chair back and stands up suddenly. The movement draws attention, but Arthur does not care. His focus is only on JD. His voice rises as he speaks, sharp and unstable. He asks her where the necklace came from. The question is not polite or careful. It comes out filled with shock and urgency. Arthur does not try to hide his emotions. His tone reveals confusion, anger, and desperation all at once. He feels as if the ground has been pulled from under him. Standing there, he waits for an answer, his body tense, his eyes locked on JD, unable to step back from the moment. JD hears Arthur's voice and freezes. The sound of it reaches her before she fully processes his words. She looks up and sees his face clearly for the first time. In that instant, recognition hits her. The years between them collapse into a single second. She knows who he is. The sight of him brings back memories she has tried to bury. Her chest tightens and her breathing becomes shallow. Panic takes over her body. She does not have time to prepare herself. She did not expect this moment, and she is not ready for it. Arthur's expression, his voice, and the situation overwhelm her. Her hands shake slightly as she realizes that the past she ran from is standing in front of her. She feels exposed and trapped. The restaurant around her fades as fear fills her thoughts. She understands that this encounter could change everything, and that realization terrifies her. JD tries to protect herself the only way she knows how. She denies what Arthur is asking. Her words come out quickly and defensively. She does not explain. She does not clarify. She only tries to create distance between herself and the situation. Her voice is unsteady, and her movements are rushed. She avoids looking directly at Arthur as she speaks. Fear guides her actions, not logic. She knows that staying could force her to face things she has avoided for years. The necklace, once hidden, now feels heavy against her chest. She reaches instinctively toward it, as if trying to shield it again. Her denial is not calm or convincing. It is desperate. She wants the moment to end. She wants the questions to stop. Every second she remains there feels unbearable. The pressure of Arthur's gaze and the weight of the past make it hard for her to think clearly. Arthur listens to JD's denial, but it does not ease his reaction. Her panic only increases his confusion. He can see that something is wrong. Her fear is visible, and it deepens the intensity of the moment. He remains standing, his body tense, unsure of what to say next. He wants answers, but he cannot force them out of her. His emotions are raw and uncontrolled. He does not try to calm himself. The situation has moved beyond control. The simple night he wanted for Elisa no longer exists. He feels exposed in front of his daughter and the people around them, but that embarrassment feels small compared to the shock inside him. Arthur does not step closer, but he does not step away either. He is caught between the need to understand and the reality that the truth may be more than he can handle. JD makes a quick decision. She creates physical distance by stepping away from the table. Her movements are fast and uneven, driven by fear. She does not offer an explanation or a goodbye. She does not answer Arthur's question. She only moves away, leaving the situation unfinished. The moment breaks without resolution. Arthur remains standing, watching her retreat. Elisa looks between them, confused by the sudden tension and silence. The restaurant returns to its normal noise, but the feeling at the table does not. What was revealed cannot be taken back. JD's retreat leaves Arthur with questions and no answers. The space she creates does not calm the situation. It only confirms that something serious has been exposed. The encounter ends abruptly, but its impact stays, heavy and unresolved. Arthur does not return to his table after JD walks away. He cannot sit down and pretend nothing happened. His mind is fixed on her, on the necklace, and on the fear he saw in her eyes. He tells Elisa to stay seated and moves toward the exit. He does not run, but he does not hesitate either. Outside the restaurant he waits. He knows she has to leave at some point. The air feels heavy, and time moves slowly. Arthur stands there replaying every second in his head. He is no longer calm or controlled. He feels restless, tense, and driven by a single need: answers. When JD finally steps outside, Arthur turns toward her immediately. His voice is firm and urgent. He tells her they need to talk. There is no politeness left, no careful tone. He cannot accept that she walked away without explaining anything. He blocks her path just enough to stop her from leaving, but not close enough to touch her. His body is rigid, his face serious. He is not angry at her, he is desperate. Silence is no longer an option for him. Arthur begins to speak without waiting for permission. He tells her things only his wife would know. He mentions details from their marriage, from small moments they shared, from conversations no one else heard. His words come quickly, one after another, as if he is afraid she might run again. He talks about the day of the birth, about how things unfolded, about what he remembers and what he was told. He brings up moments from before everything fell apart, moments that cannot be explained away. His voice shakes as he speaks, but he does not stop. He needs her to understand that this is not confusion or coincidence. He knows who she is. He has known from the moment he saw the photo. Arthur does not accuse her. He does not raise his voice in anger. His tone is intense, emotional, and raw. Each detail he shares is meant to break through her denial. He is not trying to scare her. He is trying to reach her. JD listens, and with every word Arthur says, her strength fades. At first, she tries to stay composed. She keeps her arms close to her body, her eyes lowered, her breathing shallow. But the details he mentions cut through her defenses. There is no way he could know these things unless he was telling the truth. Her body reacts before her mind can stop it. Her shoulders drop and her hands begin to tremble. Tears form in her eyes as the wall she built over the years starts to collapse. She shakes her head slowly, as if refusing to accept what is happening, but her silence speaks louder than her earlier denial. Arthur's words leave her exposed. She feels cornered not by him, but by the truth she has been running from. The memories she buried rise to the surface, bringing pain she never fully escaped. JD finally breaks down. Tears fall freely as she admits who she is. Her voice is weak and uneven as she speaks. She confirms that she is the woman Arthur believes she is. The moment she says it, years of silence end. She explains what happened in the hospital. She tells him she woke up feeling weak and confused, still affected by medication. She was told that the baby had died. The words crushed her, leaving her numb and unable to react properly. She was then told that Arthur had moved on, that he had accepted the situation, and that there was nothing for her to return to. She believed it because she had no reason not to. She trusted what she was told in that moment of vulnerability. Her voice cracks as she explains how alone she felt, how quickly everything happened, and how powerless she was to question it. As JD continues, she explains that she had no money and no support. She was not given time to process what had happened. She was not offered help or guidance. She was simply left to deal with the loss on her own. Believing that Arthur had chosen to continue his life without her, she felt abandoned and unwanted. That belief shaped every decision she made afterward. She did not fight. She did not search. She left because she thought she had already been replaced. The idea that she had been discarded stayed with her for years. It taught her to stay quiet, to keep distance, and to expect nothing from anyone. Her tears are not loud or dramatic. They are exhausted, heavy, and full of pain that has never been released. Arthur listens without interrupting. Each word JD says lands heavily. He feels shock, anger, and guilt all at once, but he does not speak yet. He stands there, absorbing the reality of what she is telling him. The silence between them is thick, filled with everything that was never said before. Arthur realizes that the life he believed was over did not end naturally. It was taken apart through decisions made while he was grieving and unaware. JD's pain is clear, and so is her belief that she had been cast aside. The confrontation does not end with relief or resolution. It ends with truth finally spoken aloud, leaving both of them standing face to face with a past that can no longer be ignored. Arthur goes to the hospital as soon as the conversation with JD ends. He does not go home, and he does not wait for another day. His mind is fixed on what she told him, and he needs proof. When he arrives, he does not ask politely. He identifies himself and demands access to old medical records related to the birth of his daughter and the death of his wife. His tone is firm and serious. Hospital staff are surprised by his urgency, but his position and determination make it clear that he will not leave without answers. Arthur feels a mix of anger and focus. He is not emotional in his behavior, but inside he is boiling. He knows the hospital keeps records for years, and he insists that everything be brought to him. He waits while files are located, standing in the same building where his life changed. The place feels familiar and uncomfortable at the same time. He remembers being there years ago, confused and broken. Now he is there with a clear purpose. He is no longer passive. He is there to understand exactly what was done while he was not in control. When the records are placed in front of him, Arthur begins to read carefully. He goes through each page slowly, checking dates, signatures, and notes. At first, everything looks official and organized, but as he continues, small details begin to stand out. Some documents feel incomplete. Certain explanations seem vague or rushed. Arthur notices authorizations signed in his name. At moments he does not fully remember. He pauses, trying to recall if he truly agreed to those decisions. The more he reads, the less confident he feels about what he was told at the time. His hands tighten around the papers. He asks questions and requests additional files. He wants everything connected to that period. Arthur does not rush. He knows that truth hides in details. Each page he turns increases the sense that something was not right. He feels the gap between what he remembers and what is written. That gap begins to scare him. Arthur focuses on the authorization forms. He checks the timing of the signatures and compares them to the events of that day. He remembers being emotionally destroyed, barely able to think clearly. Now he sees decisions approved under his name during that exact period. His stomach tightens. He realizes that while he was overwhelmed and grieving, someone else was acting in his place. As he continues reading, he recognizes his father's involvement. Roberto's name appears more than once, connected to meetings, approvals, and discussions with medical staff. Arthur feels his chest tighten as understanding starts to form. He trusted his father completely during that time. He never imagined that trust could be used to control decisions he did not fully understand. The realization does not come all at once. It builds slowly, with each document confirming that he was not the one directing events. His consent existed on paper, but not in reality. Some records appear altered, dates do not fully match. Notes seem adjusted or incomplete. Arthur asks hospital staff to explain these inconsistencies. The answers he receives are careful and vague. No one directly admits wrongdoing, but no one can clearly justify the changes either. Arthur does not argue. He listens and keeps reading. His mind is sharp now, not clouded by grief as it was years ago. He understands that these alterations are not random. They point to decisions made behind closed doors. Arthur sees that key moments were handled without proper communication with him. Important choices were made while he was emotionally unstable. He feels anger rise, but he stays focused. He is not there to shout. He is there to confirm what he already suspects. The truth is becoming clear through the paper in his hands. As Arthur puts the documents together, a clear picture forms. The death of his wife was not simply the result of an unexpected medical complication. It was shaped by decisions made without his clear approval. Those decisions were influenced by his father, who had access, authority, and control at a time when Arthur could not resist. Arthur understands that his role was minimized when it mattered most. His grief was used to push things forward quickly and quietly. This realization changes everything. He no longer sees the past as a tragic but natural loss. He sees it as something directed, managed, and manipulated. The weight of this understanding is heavy. It explains why JD believed she had been abandoned. It explains why everything ended so suddenly and without explanation. Arthur leaves the hospital carrying more than documents. He carries certainty. The lie that shaped his life has been exposed. He knows now that his wife's death was not just a medical failure. It was the result of interference during a moment of weakness. This truth brings anger, but it also brings clarity. Arthur understands that his silence allowed others to decide for him. That realization hurts deeply. As he walks away, he knows that his relationship with the past has changed forever. He can no longer accept what he was told without question. The truth has been revealed, and it cannot be ignored. Arthur goes to see Roberto after leaving the hospital. He does not delay and does not calm down before the meeting. He arrives with documents in hand and a clear purpose. When he faces his father, Arthur does not start with questions. He starts with facts. He places the papers in front of Roberto and tells him what he found. His voice is firm but filled with tension. Roberto listens without surprise. He does not deny the documents or try to change the subject. Arthur asks directly why decisions were made without his clear consent. He asks why JD was removed from his life. The room feels heavy as Arthur waits for an answer. He is no longer the quiet son who follows instructions. He is standing there as a man demanding the truth. Roberto looks at him calmly, as if this conversation was expected. The distance between them is not physical, but emotional. Arthur's hands shake slightly, not from fear, but from anger that has been building for years without direction. Roberto answers without hesitation. He admits that he acted deliberately. He says that JD was not suitable for the family and that her background would never fit the life Arthur was meant to have. He explains that he believed he was protecting his grandson and the family's future. Roberto speaks as if his actions were reasonable and necessary. He talks about reputation, stability, and control. He does not apologize. He does not show regret. To him, everything he did was justified. Arthur listens, and with every word, his anger grows. Hearing his father say these things out loud removes any doubt Arthur had left. This was not a mistake, it was a decision, a planned removal of someone Arthur loved. Roberto's calm tone makes it worse. He speaks as if he saved the family, not destroyed it. Arthur realizes that his pain and JD's suffering were never part of his father's concern. Arthur reacts immediately. His anger finally breaks through years of silence and obedience. He raises his voice and tells Roberto that he had no right to decide who belonged in his life. He tells him that using power to control a vulnerable moment was unforgivable. Arthur does not hold back his emotions. He accuses his father of destroying his family and lying to him for years. His words come fast and sharp. Roberto tries to respond, but Arthur does not let him finish. He makes it clear that nothing his father says can justify what was done. The confrontation is intense and direct. There is no attempt to soften the truth. Arthur's fury is not just about JD, it is about years of trust being abused. The relationship they had collapses in that moment, replaced by anger and rejection. Arthur makes his decision clear. He tells Roberto that their relationship is over. There will be no more discussions, no more influence, and no more shared control. Arthur states that Roberto will no longer have contact with Elisa. He says this firmly, without hesitation. Protecting his daughter becomes his priority. He refuses to allow the man who caused this damage to remain part of her life. Roberto reacts with disbelief and anger, but Arthur does not waver. He does not argue further. The decision has been made. Arthur also announces that all personal and financial ties are cut. Any business involvement connected to his father is ended. This is not a threat. It is a final statement. Arthur chooses separation over compromise. He is done allowing others to decide for him. The confrontation changes the family completely. What once appeared united is now broken. Arthur walks away knowing that his choice will create lasting consequences. Family members will be forced to take sides. Relationships will be strained or lost entirely. Arthur understands this, but he does not hesitate. The cost feels necessary. He refuses to protect a false peace built on lies. For the first time, he feels aligned with his actions. The pain of the decision is real, but so is the relief. He is no longer carrying someone else's choices. He has reclaimed control over his life and his family. The division is not temporary, it is final. As Arthur leaves, there is no reconciliation or regret in his steps. The bond between father and son has been severed. Roberto remains behind, losing access not only to his son, but to his granddaughter and the power he once held. Arthur knows this break cannot be undone. The family is no longer one unit. It has split into opposing sides, and there is no path back. Arthur accepts this reality. The confrontation has ended, but its impact will last. What matters to him now is protecting Elisa and honoring the truth. That truth has cost him his father, but it has given him clarity. Elisa's crisis happens suddenly and with intensity. Her breathing becomes difficult, uneven, and clearly unstable. Arthur recognizes the signs immediately and knows this is not something that can wait. She is taken for urgent medical care, and the situation becomes serious very quickly. Doctors explain that her condition requires an immediate procedure. This is not a routine treatment. Time matters, and delays could make things worse. Arthur stays close, listening carefully, trying to remain calm, while fear builds inside him. Elisa is scared, tired, and struggling to breathe normally. The atmosphere is tense and focused. Medical staff move fast, speaking clearly but firmly. Arthur understands that his daughter's life depends on quick decisions. There is no room for hesitation or denial. This moment is about survival, not emotion. He stays near Elisa, holding her hand and reassuring her, even though he feels powerless. Everything he has faced until now feels small compared to the fear of losing her. The urgency of the situation forces everyone involved to act without delay. Doctors explain that the procedure requires specific biological compatibility. Not just anyone can help. Tests must be done immediately to identify a suitable match. Arthur listens as they explain the requirements and risks. There is no guarantee of success without the right compatibility. The process begins quickly. JD is informed of what is happening and what is needed. She is visibly shaken by the situation, still processing everything that has come to light. The weight of the moment is heavy. Even so, she does not step back. When doctors explain that her compatibility must be tested, she agrees without asking questions. There is no hesitation in her response. Fear and pain are present, but they do not stop her. She understands what this means. This is about her child's life. The tests are done, and the waiting feels long and tense. Arthur watches silently, knowing that the outcome of these results could change everything. The room feels still as everyone waits for confirmation. The results confirm that JD is compatible. The information is clear and direct. She is the match needed for the procedure. There is no confusion or uncertainty in the explanation. The doctors outline what must be done next. JD listens carefully, absorbing every word. She's emotionally overwhelmed, but her decision does not change. She agrees to help immediately. There is no fear in her voice when she gives consent. She does not ask for time or reassurance. Her focus is entirely on Elisa. The past, the pain, and the shock of recent revelations fade into the background. What matters now is the present moment. Arthur watches her, understanding the weight of what she is choosing. He does not interrupt or question her. The choice is hers, and she makes it with quiet strength. The preparation begins right away. Medical staff move efficiently, and the process moves forward without delay. The procedure takes place with careful attention. JD follows instructions and remains calm, even though the emotional pressure is intense. She stays focused on the goal, helping Elisa breathe and recover. The process works as planned. Elisa responds positively to the intervention. Her breathing begins to stabilize, and her body shows signs of recovery. The immediate danger passes. Doctors confirm that the procedure was successful. The relief in the room is clear. Arthur finally allows himself to breathe more freely. The fear that had been building begins to release, replaced by gratitude and exhaustion. JD watches closely, her eyes fixed on Elisa. Seeing the improvement brings emotion she has been holding back. The success of the intervention confirms what everyone needed most in that moment. Elisa is safe. As Elisa recovers, she stays under close care. JD remains by her side, attentive and present. She helps in simple ways, staying close and offering comfort. Elisa responds to her presence naturally. She relaxes more easily, her breathing steady and calm. There is no forced connection. It happens quietly and instinctively. Elisa feels safe with JD near her. Arthur notices this immediately. The bond forming between mother and daughter is clear without words. JD does not push herself into the role. She simply stays. Her presence brings stability. The recovery period becomes more than physical healing. It becomes a moment of emotional connection that neither of them expected, but both accept fully. The time following the procedure confirms the change. Elisa continues to improve, gaining strength and confidence. JD remains involved in her care, learning what Elisa needs and responding naturally. Their connection deepens through shared time and attention. There is no confusion in Elisa's response. She trusts JD and feels comforted by her. Arthur watches this quietly, understanding that something important has been restored. The crisis that threatened Elisa's life has also created a bond that cannot be undone. JD did not hesitate when it mattered most, and that action speaks louder than words. The moment defines their relationship. Elisa is alive, recovering, and connected to her mother in a way that feels immediate and real. Roberto does not accept the situation quietly. After being cut out of Arthur's life, he begins to use the influence he still has. He speaks to people, makes calls, and tries to shape the narrative around what happened. His goal is clear: reduce JD's credibility and regain control. He suggests that she is unstable and questions her intentions. He frames the situation as a misunderstanding created by emotion and confusion. Roberto believes that power and reputation can still protect him. He does not approach Arthur directly anymore. Instead, he works behind the scenes, trying to influence opinions and decisions. He wants to weaken JD's position and create doubt around her role in Elisa's life. Roberto acts as if the past can be managed the same way it always was. He assumes that authority and connections will be enough to fix the problem. For him, controlling the situation matters more than repairing relationships. He refuses to admit fault and continues to justify his actions as necessary. This response makes it clear that he has not changed. He is still focused on control, even if it means causing more damage. Arthur becomes aware of Roberto's attempts and reacts immediately. He does not argue or negotiate. He chooses action. His first priority is Elisa. Arthur moves to formalize her legal guardianship, making sure there is no uncertainty about who is responsible for her care and decisions. He wants clear protection for his daughter, free from outside interference. This step is not emotional. It is deliberate and calculated. Arthur understands that legal clarity is necessary to prevent further manipulation. He works with professionals to ensure everything is done correctly and transparently. This decision removes any remaining leverage Roberto might try to use. Arthur does not explain his choices publicly at this stage. He focuses on securing his family first. The process is serious and demanding, but Arthur does not hesitate. He knows that hesitation created problems in the past. This time, he acts decisively. By formalizing the guardianship, Arthur establishes a foundation of safety and stability for Elisa. It is a clear message that her well-being comes before family politics or reputation. Arthur then takes the next step. He initiates legal action against the hospital and those responsible for the irregularities he uncovered. This decision is not driven by revenge, but by responsibility. Arthur believes that what happened should not be ignored or hidden. He files formal complaints and lawsuits supported by the documents he obtained. The process is complex and time-consuming, but Arthur commits to it fully. He understands that this will bring public attention and scrutiny. He accepts that risk. Arthur wants accountability, not silence. He wants the truth documented and recognized. The legal action challenges powerful institutions, but Arthur does not back down. He believes that allowing the situation to pass without consequences would mean accepting the lie that shaped his life. This step also reinforces JD's position. It shows that Arthur stands behind her, not just privately, but through concrete actions. The legal process becomes another way Arthur chooses truth over comfort. As the situation becomes public, Arthur makes a final and visible decision. He publicly breaks away from his father's business interests. This separation is not symbolic. He cuts financial ties, steps away from shared enterprises, and refuses any inheritance connected to Roberto. This decision costs him status, influence, and future wealth. Arthur knows this. He does not pretend otherwise. The business world reacts with surprise and speculation. People question his motives and judgment. Arthur does not respond to commentary. He does not justify himself in interviews or statements. His actions speak clearly enough. By walking away from his father's legacy, Arthur removes any doubt about where he stands. He is no longer willing to benefit from a system built on control and manipulation. This break is final. It is not a pause or a strategy. It is a choice that reshapes his public and private life. The consequences of Arthur's decisions are immediate and lasting. His social position changes. Some relationships fade. Opportunities connected to his father's influence disappear. Arthur accepts these losses without complaint. He understands that protecting his family comes at a cost. He does not see this as sacrifice, but as correction. For the first time, his actions align with his values. He no longer carries the weight of silence or guilt alone. JD remains under pressure, but she's no longer isolated. Arthur's support is clear and consistent. He does not hide her or distance himself from her to protect his image. Instead, he stands beside her openly. This public stance removes the power of rumors and manipulation. Arthur chooses clarity over comfort. He allows the truth to exist, even when it is inconvenient. Arthur's choices define the new direction of his life. He prioritizes his role as a husband and a father above status and inheritance. He understands that wealth and position mean nothing if they are built on lies. Protecting JD and Elisa becomes his central responsibility. He doesn't regret what he gives up. The losses are real, but so is the sense of purpose he gains. Arthur accepts that truth has a price. He pays it willingly. By doing so, he creates a future based on honesty and protection, not control. The situation does not resolve neatly or quickly, but Arthur does not expect it to. What matters to him is that his family is safe and that the truth is no longer hidden. The investigations move forward step by step. The process is slow, but it does not stop. The hospital reviews old records, decisions, and procedures connected to the past. Mistakes and irregular actions are acknowledged. The institution admits that failures happened and that proper steps were not followed. This confirmation does not erase what was done, but it changes the official story. The truth is no longer hidden behind vague explanations. As this becomes known, Roberto's influence weakens. His authority no longer carries the same weight it once did. People who once listened without question now step back. His ability to control situations quietly disappears. He is no longer the central figure shaping outcomes. This shift is not dramatic or loud, but it is clear. The power he relied on fades as facts replace influence. The situation moves away from personal conflict and becomes a matter of accountability. Arthur watches this process carefully. He does not celebrate or seek revenge. For him, what matters is that the truth stands on its own. The recognition of failure marks the end of a long lie and the beginning of something more honest. JD's life does not suddenly become luxurious or easy. She does not move into wealth or comfort beyond what is necessary. What changes is how she sees herself and how others see her. She is no longer invisible or pushed aside. Her identity is no longer defined by silence or loss. She begins to live without hiding her past. The role of mother, taken from her years ago, is finally restored. This role does not come with perfection or certainty, but it comes with presence. JD is involved, attentive, and real. She makes decisions for Elisa and participates in her care. She is no longer watching from a distance. Her dignity returns through action, not status. She speaks when needed and stands firm without fear. JD does not seek attention or validation. She seeks stability and honesty. Her strength comes from having survived and from choosing not to disappear again. The life she builds now is simple, grounded, and based on truth. She is not trying to replace lost years. She focuses on the present and on being there fully. Arthur changes his life in visible and practical ways. He reduces his workload and steps back from constant business demands. Work no longer controls his time the way it once did. He rearranges priorities and creates space for his family. This decision is not temporary or symbolic. It reflects a real shift in how he chooses to live. Arthur becomes more present in daily routines. He spends time with Elisa and stays involved in her needs without delegating everything to others. His presence is calm and consistent. He listens more and speaks less. The urgency that once drove him is replaced by intention. Arthur does not abandon responsibility, but he no longer hides behind it. He understands that success means nothing if it comes at the cost of connection. His role as a father and husband becomes central, not secondary. This change does not come without effort. Letting go of control is difficult, but Arthur accepts it. He knows that presence matters more than power now. The dynamic between JD, Arthur, and Elisa settles into something steady. There is no rush to define everything or force a perfect image. They move forward step by step. Trust builds through shared time and consistency. Elisa benefits from this stability. Her days become more predictable, and her emotional state improves. She feels safe knowing both parents are present and attentive. JD and Arthur do not pretend the past did not happen. They do not erase it or ignore it. Instead, they acknowledge it and choose to move forward with honesty. Their relationship is not built on grand gestures. It grows through everyday actions and mutual respect. They communicate clearly and avoid silence. What was once broken by control and secrecy is rebuilt through openness. The family does not seek approval or recognition. They focus inward, creating a life that feels real and grounded. Roberto's presence fades further into the background. His loss of influence is not dramatic, but it is complete. He no longer shapes decisions or controls outcomes. The family no longer reacts to him. His role in their lives ends without reconciliation or ongoing conflict. This absence allows space for healing. The past remains part of their story, but it no longer defines their future. JD does not live in fear of being removed again. Arthur does not live under someone else's authority. Elisa grows in an environment free from manipulation. The separation creates clarity. Everyone knows where they stand. This clarity allows the family to move forward without looking over their shoulders. The cost of truth has already been paid. What remains is the freedom that comes with it. The story closes on a simple, meaningful image. JD wears the necklace openly, no longer hiding it under her clothes. The photo inside is no longer something to protect in secret. It is part of her visible identity. Elisa stands close, holding JD's hand naturally and without hesitation. This gesture is quiet but powerful. It shows connection, trust, and belonging. Arthur watches them together, present and steady. Nothing about this moment is exaggerated. It does not promise perfection or erase pain. It represents acceptance and permanence. This family is no longer hidden, controlled, or silenced. They exist openly, defined by truth and choice. The life ahead may still hold challenges, but it will not be built on lies. This moment confirms that what was once erased has been reclaimed, and it will not be taken away again. If this story moved you and made you think, don't forget to like the video. Your support helps this story reach more people. Subscribe to Muller Tales for more real stories about life, loss, and second chances. New stories are posted regularly, and each one brings a lesson worth hearing. And before you go, tell us in the comments, what part of this story affected you the most? Thank you for watching Muller Tales. See you in the next story.